Hello guys, welcome to this YouTube video.
Today, I'm going to run through CAD JPY and Ant's going to run through Euro JPY.
So let's get into it.
So guys, I'm going to break down CAD JPY. As you can see on the monthly chart starting, we've got a key monthly support level at 75, where we see multiple touches going all the way back to the 2nd of September 2002. And then you can see in history, we've just repeatedly been using this level as support. Also have a monthly significant area across here where it's using as support and resistance. We have resistance here, came back, used support twice, broke down below, came back as resistance, and now we're forming a corrective structure back down to the support level. More info on the monthly chart. We did form this morning star off the support level. We also did last month end bullish, engulfing the last previous candle, but we did leave a big wick to the upside. So this can potentially be filled. So let's zoom in on the lower time frames and try pinpoint a good entry to maybe take longs, breaking this wick and maybe touching this trend line. Weekly chart. Once again, it's more clearer how we can see how we're just correcting right now. Lots of dojis. Price is not breaking any sort of level at the moment. There's lots of indecision in the market with the weekly dojis. So once again, there's not much telling us on a weekly. You zoom in once again. Now on a daily, we start seeing a picture being painted basically. We had this on the monthly. This was seen as this morning star. On the daily, we can see it was just very messy across here. And then this was actually the breakaway to the upside of that morning star. We then had a big impulse to the upside, slight pullback, and now we're just correcting within this range in the market. So, so price can either do one or two things. We can see price break above, pull back to retest this level in the market, and then see price continue up, breaking that monthly wick across here. Target would be that the monthly wick, not being too greedy, but we can predict it to come up and test the trend line as well. Price can also, as we are ranging, we can break below, come back to retest, and then continue down. What I'd like to see within this range as well, we are making this higher low, which could potentially just be the start of the uptrend to push this price higher. So that's something I'm looking at right now on CAD JPY. For our chart, once again, it's not much happening. We can see we're just sideways moving, just waiting for that break above. Once we do get that clean break above or break below, because we can potentially break below, just jump on the 1 hour time frame and try to pinpoint our entry of that. So yeah, that's CAD JPY. We are sideways moving right now. We are ranging. So once we get that clean break to the upside or downside, wait for the retest. We then can take shorts or longs, depending on how price action tells us where to go. So yeah, that's CAD JPY broken down.
Okay, yeah, so this is Euro JPY analysis. Starting on the monthly chart, I'm just going to draw in some key levels. So we have a key support level at around 115. Just put that in. It's a nice psychological level. And then we also have this kind of downtrending movement going on recently. So we can draw like a vague, just to see the clear direction of the market at the moment, how we are bearish. Just a downtrending market like that. So yeah, we have recently rejected this support level at 115. And we can see also how the monthly candles are looking at the moment. We did have this huge pin bar on the monthly chart. And at the moment, it seems like we are just filling it. So when the monthly candles do leave big wicks, you do get a lot of the time that the next monthly candle will start to fill the wick. So we can start to predict that this is potentially happening in this month. So dropping down to the weekly chart, well, what can I start to see? Well, I can see how the market was actually downtrending a little bit more on the weekly chart. And recently we have actually broken to the upside. And if I draw this trend line in, we can see vaguely how we've had these touches like this. We've had 1, 2, 3 touches of this trend line, and we did have this big break to the upside, and we have actually come back and retested it and are starting to make some bullish movements up towards the monthly wick that we saw earlier. So I can also see this resistance level in the market, which I draw in around 124 in the market. So if I draw this in here, around 124, we have had this, we have multiple rejections, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again 5. So looking at the weekly chart, how we have rejected this resistance level in the market, we actually failed to continue to the downside. So this is just showing how we are potentially coming back up to make a sort of double top and retesting this 124 level in the market. And as you can see, just from the weekly candles, how we had these two bearish candles and then just no continuation to the downside. We had a couple indecision, and then last week we did actually engulf the previous doji. So we do have our bias on the weekly candles, how we've actually engulfed to the upside. Dropping down now to the daily, just to further see how the sellers failed to take control of this market. We did have an evening start off 124 in the market, and we actually failed to continue to the downside. So that's just taking that into consideration, how we've actually had this impulse to the downside followed by a pullback, and then we've actually retested it around this level. As you can see, we're using wicks here. We then had a breakthrough, we then pulled back, we then retested again, we had a continuation to the downside, and then the next time we had that, we had these wicks here followed by this. We had these wicks, we had a breakthrough to the downside followed by a pullback, doji, 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 and then this was the opportunity for sellers to actually take control, and it was their chance to actually take the market to the downside, and they failed to do so. And then we obviously just had this continuation to the upside, and now we're using this zone that I've drawn in, this yellow zone. We have now been using it as support in the market. As you can see, we've had wick rejections here, and now here, how we've had this morning star off this level, and now we could just continue into the upside. And if you can see, we've actually been using these as a resistance level in the market too. So if I just drag this yellow zone across, how we've previously used it as resistance, we tried to use it as resistance again. So sellers had another opportunity to take the market lower at this level, but we actually had this daily engulfing candle through this resistance, this one here. So that gave us our extra bias that we are potentially making moves to 124 in the market. And then afterwards, after this daily break to the upside, we just ended as 3 daily indecision candles. So on the lower time frames, you'll be able to see this in a lot more detail. So yeah, these are our zones on the lower time frames, makes it a lot more clearer to see. You can see all the wick projections a lot more clearer. We've got wick projections here, here, and then again, we have the wick projections here. And then obviously this is resistance across here, and then we used it as support again. So that's just showing the significance of these levels and how this is kind of a range in market. And now we've broken out to the upside, we can begin to look for our long positions. Dropping down to the 1 hour just to see a sort of pattern that was within this range. We did have a sort of inverse head and shoulders pattern. So if I just draw this in, we did have, this is the right shoulder, and that is the left shoulder, this is the right shoulder, down here is the head, and then we obviously had the neckline, which is in line with the zone that we had earlier. We had a break to the upside. We did pull back to retest it. That was actually a nice buying opportunity for last week. But we are now just stuck in this kind of range where we're stuck. This is a support, and we actually do have this as a resistance level in the market here, where price is actually struggling to break above. So in order to actually take buy positions, I would like to see a break above this level. And the significance of this level is actually shown because we do have previous rejections at the same level across the market to the left. If we was to look here on the lower time frames on the 1 hour, you can see that we do have multiple rejections at this level. So once we do get a break above that level around 122.6, once we get a break to the upside, we should start to look for buying opportunities, and it will make a high probability trade that we are going to reach 124. So what we're looking for is a break above, followed by a pullback, and then looking for that continuation up to 124 and getting a nice risk reward on the way.